Hi everyone, I'm Chyill and welcome back to another Battlerite video. In this video today, we're taking a quick look at the new patch as well as the Bakko Egg Brawl game mode that just came out today. So sit back, relax and enjoy the show. If you didn't already know, there was a patch that came out just yesterday which gave Freya a graphical update, some mostly minor changes, a free mount, as well as the main topic for today's video, the Bakko Egg Brawl game mode. If you'd like to read the patch notes yourself, the link can be found in the description below. Anyway, onto the new game mode. Let me just start by saying that it is really fun, and so you should definitely check it out and give it a shot before it ends on the 18th of April next Tuesday. The footage that you're seeing in the background are footage that I took when playing this Brawl game mode with some friends earlier this morning, and honestly, it is one of the most fun times playing Battlerite that I've had so far. Because of that, I decided to upload this quick video today to not only appreciate how fun the game mode is, but to also give you guys an idea of what this game mode is all about if you haven't already tried it yourself. For the remainder of this video, I will be giving all the details on the Brawl, from general information of the Brawl, to the different egg types, to the Battlerite options, and even some tips you can apply if you want to win more of these fun Brawls. So if you want to be surprised by what the Brawl has to offer without me spoiling anything at all, I suggest you stop watching now and go try it out for yourself right now. Okay, if you've watched this far, I suppose you're here for more info on the Brawl, so let's get right into it. The Brawl is a 3 vs 3 brawl, so no 2 vs 2s in this game mode, with obviously 3 Bakkos on each team, and it's sort of like a dodgeball kind of game mode. The goal is to take out all of your enemies to win the round, and every Bakko has 40 health in this mode, so typically it will take about 4 hits to kill one enemy, since the most common egg, which are those white coloured ones, deal 10 damage per hit. Different coloured eggs have different effects and damage values, but we'll get to that later. Instead of having access to all your abilities as Bakko, you're only left with your mouse 1, mouse 2 and Q abilities. Your left click or mouse 1 ability is a simple punch that knocks enemies back without doing any damage. Your right click or mouse 2 ability is what you use to throw your egg. This only works if you're holding an egg, so you'll need to pick one up before you're able to throw one. You start with a simple white egg at the start of the round to throw, but if you wasted that and you need to pick up more eggs, simply walk over the eggs lying on the floor that randomly spawn around the map after some time. Note that you can only have one egg on you at a time, so trying to pick up another egg while holding one doesn't work. Pretty simple. And finally, you have your Q ability, which is basically Bakko's Reflect, but with a lower duration and cooldown. This ability is your only defensive ability, so it's super crucial for your survival in this game mode. Now that we've covered the basics, let us cover the different egg types. Starting with the white egg, we've mostly covered the white egg actually. Basically that's your basic egg that deals 10 damage. One thing I haven't mentioned is that the white egg has a shorter range compared to all the other coloured eggs, so just something to take note of. Next up we have the blue egg. This one deals 10 damage on impact, but unlike most eggs that disappear upon successful impact on an enemy, this blue egg doesn't disappear and instead bounces up and eventually lands on the floor again for someone to pick it up and toss it again. The red egg is somewhat like Raygon's E ability. It deals 10 damage as well, but it knocks the enemy up in the air for a while, allowing your allies or yourself to quickly combo it with another egg. Pretty sweet. The purple egg deals 10 damage as well and panics the enemy, making them run away. This is especially powerful in sudden death mode, as making the enemy remain out of bounds will almost always kill them since they get hit for 15 damage every tick. Bear in mind that we only have 40 health in this mode and no proper escape skills. So keeping an enemy out of bounds is actually a very valid strategy and very powerful as well. Moving on, hitting an enemy with the green egg will deal 10 damage to them and heal you for 10. You can also throw the green egg at an ally to heal you both for 10, which is pretty nice and pretty simple. The orange egg is a tricky one that deals 20 damage. Basically, instead of just flying straight, it sort of flies forward a bit and then backwards and all that. It just sort of looks like it's lagging, but it's actually not, so just be careful of that one. You really don't want to get hit by the orange egg because it is half your health gone, and it also knocks you back quite a bit. Trying to reflect it can be quite difficult as well, since it is flying back and forth almost all the time before it eventually flies straight very quickly. Next up, we have the golden egg, and this one is pretty rare, but what it does is that once it is thrown, it will bounce off walls until it eventually hits an enemy for 20 damage. Definitely very fun. It has infinite range and flies fast, so you can imagine the chaos if you have multiple golden eggs just flying everywhere. You're not even sure which ones are thrown by your teammates and which one would damage you because it was thrown by your enemies. So yeah, definitely very fun and chaotic indeed. And finally, the black egg is very simple, and it basically just instantly kills the target it hits. There's no friendly fire, so you don't have to worry about killing your teammates. But do note that the teammate can block a shot on an enemy though, but they just won't get any damage. So those were all the different egg types, but also not really. There's actually one more egg type, which I won't show you in this video at all. You just have to find and see it for yourself, because you'll be very surprised to see it. So yeah, now let us move on to the Battlerite options. Just like the normal game modes, you can pick your Battlerites before each round, and so I'll quickly go through these options for you here. The round 1 Battlerite improves your Chyill ability in some way, and out of all these options, Egg Deflector is probably the best one since it reduces your Chyill ability cooldown by 30%, which is awesome. Other options include giving you more movement speed while you have your Chyill up, or making it stun longer if enemies melee your shield. In the second round, all Battlerites improve your mouse 1 ability in some way, and I think Egg Thief is probably the best one for me since your punch causes enemies to drop their egg. Very useful when you don't have an egg and need to rely on punching the enemy to make them not have the ability to hurt you. The second best option is probably Egg Punch, which lets your mouse 1 deal damage if you're holding an egg. And finally, the Manly Punch, which increases the knockback distance, probably only really useful in sudden death. On to the third round Battlerites, I think that the best one here is Egg Tosser, because it increases your white eggs range by 20%. Having the extra range really helps since enemies might be used to the lower range that white eggs have. Other options are giving coloured eggs 5 more damage or healing yourself for 10 when you kill an enemy. In round 4, you get a choice between having more movement speed while holding an egg or reducing the cooldown or sprint while mounted. And I think the obvious choice is Egg Hunter here, since you won't be mounted very often in this game mode at all. And finally, in the 5th and final round, you get a choice to start the round with a golden egg or a black egg. The obvious best choice here is the black egg since it can instantly kill an enemy, but I think the golden egg is a super fun choice as well if you can get your teammates to all pick the golden egg. Because the golden egg has infinite range like I mentioned, and it will keep bouncing until it hits an enemy, throwing all 3 of them right at the start towards a wall and letting it bounce towards the enemies will very likely result in at least 1 enemy death before you even see them, since you only need 2 of it to hit one same target for it to kill him. So yeah, those were all the Battlerites. Having mentioned all these, don't forget that the game mode is purely for fun, so don't forget to enjoy yourself as well. For those of you who are more competitive and are really trying to win though, then I have some quick tips that could help improve your chances of winning. The most obvious tip I have for you is cancel casting, as even the game mentions it before you begin playing the brawl. Try to get used to cancel casting right before you throw to effectively bait out your enemy's Q abilities. The better you are at waiting until the last second before you throw, only to cancel it, the easier it is for your enemy to fall for it and effectively leaves them vulnerable for 3.5 to 5 seconds. During this time, he's just a sitting duck, especially if he doesn't have an egg to throw back at you. My next tip for you is to learn to anticipate and dodge when your Q is off cooldown especially. You're essentially defenseless when your Q is off cooldown, and so the better you are at dodging, the higher your chances of surviving longer. So definitely try to learn to read your enemies and dodge those shots. What's even better is that if you manage to dodge those white eggs, the white eggs will likely be lying right next to you now for you to pick up and throw it back towards your enemies. Moving on, another tip I have for you is that you can also pass eggs to your teammates if your teammate is not holding an egg and doesn't have any eggs near him or her. You can pass yours to him or her if he or she needs it more than you at a time, and this is a good way to pick up a better egg as well without wasting an egg. So yeah, it's definitely nice to have opportunities for teamwork like that. And finally, my final tip for you guys is to make use of that sudden death mechanic. Even without an egg, you can easily turn around 1 vs 2 or even 1 vs 3 situations by somehow knocking enemies out of bounds. If the enemies know what you're trying to do, it may be difficult for you to pull this off, but it is definitely the best way to try to come back. And so yeah, that's mostly it for this video. I just wanted to get it out there to you guys because I had an absolute blast playing the Brawl. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more gaming related videos. I hope you enjoyed the Brawl as much as I did, and until next time guys, have a great day, keep gaming, stay chill, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.